Hello everyone, welcome to our e-lecture. Today we will discuss the basic linguistic notions. And there are several layouts of our lecture. Today we will discuss in details language and speech, systemic relations in a language, which calls paradigmatic and syntagmatic relations, and general characteristics of the grammatical structure of a language, and finally about the morphology and syntax as a two-part of linguistic description. Let us start with the language and speech. Prior to discuss, we have to first understand the difference between language and speech. The distinction between language and speech was firstly introduced by Ferdinand de Saussure in his book on general linguistics in 1916. Though differences of opinion still persist in this exact delineation of the boundaries between the two spheres, its general idea has been accepted by most scholars. Language. What is the language? Language is the system, phonological, lexical, and grammatical, which lies at the base of all speaking. And language is the source which every speaker and writer has to draw upon if he is to be understood by other speakers of the language. Speech is the manifestation of a language, or its use by various speakers and writers of the given language. Thus, what we have before us in oral or in written form as material for analysis is always a product of speech, something either pronounced or written by some individual speaker or writer, or occasionally a group of speakers or writers. There is no other way for a scholar to get at language than through its manifestations in a speech. Language is the process of finding the words stored in our brain and constructing sentences or utterances. And language is made up of three parts. Semantics, that is the content of a language, that is the word meaning. Syntax, the form of a language, the word order, and pragmatics, the use of a language in a context. Speech is the physical part of which enables the words found to be spoken. Speech is actual sound production and includes articulation and phonology. Language, it's the unit, and the speech unit of sound, the utterance, the discourse, while the language unit of phoneme, the sentence, and the text. Linguistic unit can enter into relations of two different kinds. It enters to paradigmatic relations with all the units that can also occur in the same environment, and it enters into syntagmatic relations with other units of the same level it occurs with. Paradigmatic and syntagmatic relations. Let us discuss the difference between them. Paradigmatic relations comprise all the units that can also occur in the same environment, while syntagmatic relations are intermediate, linear relations between units in a segmental sequence. Paradigmatic relations are relations based on the principles of similarity, while syntagmatic relations may be observed in utterances. Paradigmatic relation exists between the unit that can substitute one another. Paradigmatic relations are identified with the language, while syntagmatic relations are identified with speech. Paradigmatic relations are referred to as relations in absentia, which means in the absence. while syntagmatic relations are described by the Latin in presentia, which means in the presence. Paradigmatic relations can be of three types: semantic, formal, and functional, and the semantic paradigmatic relations are based on the similarity of meaning. Goods to be delivered or goods for delivering. Or, for example, the days are getting longer and longer, and the days are growing longer and longer. A formal type paradigmatic relations are based on the similarity of forms which exist between the members of a paradigm. Mouse, mice, ask, asked, will ask is asking. And the functional form paradigmatic relations are based on the similarity of a function established between the elements occurring in the same position as a determiner, the, or the pronouns his, and etc. Main types of syntax. Types of notional syntax. Predicative, that means the combination of subject and predicate. For example, believe, subject, we, and verb leave. The sun is shining. The sun, subject, and is shining, predicate. As an objective, verb and object, why closes or meet friends, or attributive, old houses or nice thought, and adverbial, it's a notional word, verb, adjective, adverb plus adverb modifier. Very well, adverb and adverb, simply the best, adverb plus adjective. The grammatical means is the material realization of grammatical meanings, both relative and derivative. Types are synthetic and analytical. So in the synthetic types, it belongs affixes, ablaut, reduplication, combining, stress, and suppletive forms, while in analytical form, it's a functional words, word order, intonation. Analytic language is the syntactic relationships as shown by word order, and in order to express person, case, and other categories, the language needs single words, and prepositional phrases and modal verbs are used, like to the boy, did he arrive. Synthetic language is synthetic inflectional, inflecting language, like in Czech, Finnish, Latin, Arabic, and the words typically contain more than one morpheme. And there is no one-to-one correspondence between the morphemes and the linear structure of the word, and words are formed by suffixes, declination, conjugation, and etc. And forms of a person. Case, other categories are compound in one word. So synthetic language are defined as the language of the internal grammar of the word, and analytical language are defined as a being of the external grammar of the word. Synthetic language are inflectional, and most grammatical meanings and the most grammatical relation of the words are primarily expressed by inflectional devices. Analytical devices are preferably used for rendering grammatical meanings and relation of the words. Analytical tendency is revealed through the separate expression of main lexical and grammatical additional meanings of the words. Analytical features are traced in morphological lack of changeability of the word and existence of the peripatetic constructions. The words remaining morphologically unchanged convey the grammatical meaning by combining with the auxiliary or notional words or word order is strict, while in synthetic language, morphological forms as such can be regarded as a synthetic where base of the word is inseparably connected with its formants presenting a grammatical category. Thank you very much for your attention, and that's all for now. Bye.